Welcome to part 2 of what everything we know about my winter car in 2024. In the first part, we got from January to June. So if you haven't checked the last video yet, make sure you do. And now in this video, we will go from July to December. Let's get started with July, where we got quiet. Good amount of information. We got information about the dirty car. Over time, will the car get dirty? And maybe we could be rewarded for having a dirty car by having the dirt obstruct the license plates. And will the suspension wear like the engine does in MSC? Or will it be remarkably durable? He responded with, no dirt system unfortunately, but suspension parts do wear. Coils get saggy and shocks develop issues both losing damping efficiency or getting stuck. I haven't decided on whether suspension linkages could break, but it could be a possibility as well. Probably a good add-on if you ask me. Let me know what you think while you subscribe to the channel too. Moving to the next one about oil temp. Will the temperature of the oil be separated from the coolant temp? And will it in turn lead to higher engine wear if the oil is cold? Yes to both questions. There is also an ampere gauge as a new addition. Many of the extra gauges come with the Sport package from the factory, but you can also get separate aftermarket cluster that goes on top of the dash. I really like this one. It will be a nice add-in probably. Then we got a bunch of my winter car questions. Can Sorbet be modified? Like adding new wheels or engine upgrade. It is a little bit modified, but I haven't decided if you can do any additional modifications to it. There is quite a lot stuff you can do with the buildable car, so probably work on that all the time. Are there any endings in MWC? I mean, like Susky is getting pregnant in MSC. Well, obviously these details are left to be seen. Are there any other type of beers that have different alcohol percentage? No, I don't think there is any point to have light beers in the game. Are there any food temperature systems like food must be heated before the player eats it, or the beverage getting frosted if the player puts it in a very cold place? No, it got too complicated. The system is similar to MSC that some foods get spoiled. However, spoiling rate is slower as it's cold everywhere. Can we bribe the police if the police come to the player's house? No. Is Tamo gonna sell mineral water bottles? No. Are there any new bands that are gonna do concerts in the dance pavilion? It is closed for the winter. There is no insulation or heating in the building. Can the car HVAC get broken? Yes. Can we buy a seat with different material for rivet like leather, vinyl, or etc.? Yes. Then we have yet more bunch of basic questions. Is the fuse box a part that is already attached, like the Satsuma, or a part we have to buy? It is already attached to the car, like in MSC. Can you possibly give us a clue on one of the things hinted about my winter car in my summer car? I don't remember what hints there were. Is the battery at Tamo's or a car part bought somewhere else? You get regular batteries from the store, yes. Maybe later some high-quality / racing batteries from Fleeteries. Will we still have the jerry cans? Yes. Is the police checkpoints the same as my summer car? Yes, there is an upcoming update with MSC that is now parking lanes for safe stopping on the highway checkpoints. So basically those are the same spots in MWC as well. But MWC might have less checkpoints as it has cameras, and maybe it will also have a radar car, etc. Do we have spray paints? If we do, can we customize the colors of them? Is it also bought at Tamo's? Yes, same as in MSC. Is the boss male or female? Also, can the boss be featured in a suit by any chance? Male, suit probably not. And one more for June is about fuses. It would be great to have a functional fuse box with fuses that occasionally break, adding a realistic touch to the experience. I haven't been able to figure this thing out, but if I do, I will add such feature. Good info from July, but now we are moving to August, where again loads of info was given. Let's get to the first one that was about unboxing new parts in the game. Most of the parts now come in boxes, and they stay unopened also during game load until you decide to open them. Unboxing is pretty much similar procedure than in MSC. Unfortunately, what has changed is that some of the boxes do not represent the actual size of the part. I would have liked so, but it would have become too complicated under this new part system. Next one is about timing. Can the timing belt of the engine break? And if it can break, will there be possibility that the valves will contact pistons and do some damage? This is non-interfere engine, so you only lose timing. Then we have 5 questions about the game. Will we have access to GT rims like we had in MSC, but Ford RS rims or something? Yes. What car will Johnny and Pettery have? Different cars. Will EDM be returning? Sure. Is Rusko replacement Toyota Corolla KE70? No. Is there going to be more new cars? I know there's the Marina, Sorbet, Rivet, but any more? Yes. Then someone asked about Fleetery selling car necessities. The plan is that Fleetery would sell premium brands, and from the store you could get just some regular cheaper stuff. Then we have lots of questions about annoying things. And death, frostbite. Say goodbye to your leg. Decreases speed, makes player limp until treated. Frostbite is a nice idea, but I think everything related to that gets way too complicated. Cars without heating systems don't start if it's too cold. Implemented, blizzards, say goodbye to your sight, decreases temp way faster. Implemented as well, annoying coworkers. In the main office job, if it is office, coworkers steal your lunch if they don't like you or randomly. Well, they are definitely annoying, but won't be stealing your lunch. Freezing water. Can't drink if it's too cold. Freezing. If it flows, you can drink it. Slipping. Icy areas make the player slip. I really need to see if this is something that could work. It is definitely annoying and fitting. Concussion. Slip too often, or just fall. Probably not. Crushed. Having stuff fall on top of you. Too difficult. Per inch. Bleeding. Windshield broke. Start bleeding to death. Would require a hospital system of some sort. Per inch. Then we have yet more questions about the game. If the player gets into a slight fender bender, would they swear and have the stress bar go up a bit? I try not to add features that require precise checks for physical collisions. It is never controllable enough. If you do get in a wreck, will NPCs get pissed at you? Not likely, mostly related to the one point above. Will we get more lore on the player's family in the game? For sure. Looking at the rivet while it's in a good state for a period of time could lower stress by a single inch? How can you decide when the car is in a good state? Compared to the MSC, the car is total junk most of the times. From how things are now, will my winter car come out in early or mid-2025? Could be possible, hopefully sooner even. Will you be able to sell certain things? Yes, in a flea market. Since there will be different trims of the rivet, will the more high-trim models have better features, like better AC, more powerful engine? There is no AC available, but other than that, some of the luxury trims will have better features. If I remember right, there is currently only one feature/option which you cannot install later on unless the original car has it already. I could try to figure out if I could add more such things. In any case, some of the parts are very hard to find even if they are available in theory. And yet more questions. Are there any night races that the player can place bets? Well, illegal road race for sure. Betting it, why not if it is not too difficult to prevent exploiting? Can the player do ice lake fishing? Not yet at least. Can the player do skiing at the ski hill? I will test this at some point. I have not very high hopes that works at all. Does the car door can be locked? No. Can the player decorate the player house apartment with new furniture and other house appliances? Yes, some. Are there any new PCs that have powerful specs than MicroPekka in the game? No. Then someone asked about NPC cars stopping at the police checkpoint. He answered with, not against it. It is just very difficult to make it work reliably without AI drivers ramming into police constantly. It is now even exaggerated because roads are slippery. Then, something about car trailer was asked. I tried that with MSC to make the truck have a cassette type of changeable payloads. I was never able to make it work even after months of fiddling around. Car trailer with winch would work with the same principle, but unfortunately it is just a mess to make it function. And the last for August, we have 6 more questions. If the player decides to drive right after starting the engine, will there be a higher wear rate of engine parts? Due to cold weather, poor oil pressure, etc. Yes, you can try to balance the issue by using winter-grade oil, but it might not again work properly if running the engine hot, Is it possible to have a full or partial electrical blackout during extremely cold weather plus blizzards for a couple of hours maybe? Then, the player needs to heat up the house with firewood and light it up with candles. I find it somewhat atmospheric. I could add this. Will some goods have buffs for cold, like minus 15% of freezing rate for 1 hour or something? Unfortunately, no food or drink freezing feature. Will electricity cost be higher than in MSC? I had to decrease the price because the consumption is so high. Is there a snow brush for cars in the game? Nope, but a scraper to scrape off ice. Is there a tire pressure system? If I can make it to work, then yes, loads of information for 1 month, I would say. So let's move to the September, where not that many information was given. First, we have 3 questions. About tuning parts for the engine, will we have any supercharging, such as turbocharger, supercharger, ProCharge, etc.? Nope. Will the engine have an oil pressure system? If so, adding a more viscous oil if the engine is experiencing low pressure will temporarily mitigate the problem. Yes, you need to try to figure out which sort of oil is best for your engine given how you drive it. Will we have any purchasable upgrade like ODG 3-step, just to make noise and pops? Or some functionality like removing the delay of a turbocharger? This is just a happy suggestion. No. And yet 6 more questions. When crashing without seatbelts, can the player fly through the windshield and die? It is very difficult to make it work properly, so probably not. Ability to dodge Yanni and Petri punches. Well, don't start a fight. When crashing, might the player not die but wake up after a couple of hours? It could be a nice detail for sure. I am not certain if it can be added very easily considering how the death check has been implemented right now. I'll take a look at it. Maybe Gifu truck wreck somewhere on the map? There are already a few Gifu wrecks. When buying a new part from Flattari, does it change texture to a cleaner one? No, or less rusty. Yes, some parts are like that already. Wrecked cars from MSC are at Flattari's in MWC. I think I will pile them somewhere. Someone asked about the option to weld the diff, and he answered, 100% diff doesn't really work in this physics plugin. Not really sure why that is. I have tried to fix it, but no progress. However, the maximum lock is maybe around 95%, so it is probably good enough considering how slippery the conditions are. Anyway, because of that, I am not sure if I can implement a welded diff feature, as it doesn't do what it is supposed to do. So in this case, some of the factory rear ends come with optional LSD that are set to maximum lock possible. Sure, rear ends have wear and are breakable. First they develop terrible whine, and eventually gears will lose teeth and whole thing fails. Not too much info about the game in September, and before moving on, please subscribe and like the video if you like it so far. Now moving to October. We have more information than in last one. First one, we have question about betting on football games. There is already simulated hockey regular season. Betting feature could be added to that. Would not be out of place in the game and setting. Sports betting was and is popular. Then we have another one about temperature. Will lower temperature make handling worse, as in ice on the roads? Also, what's the warmest temperature in MWC? Temperatures do not affect handling. I've never even considered that. Is it a thing? Maybe from personal experience I'd say that lower temperatures increase the grip. Hottest temperature is -1 Celsius. Then we have question about suspension parts and where, yes, there are similar adjustable shocks like in MSC, and together with that wide selection of different springs to make the car lower, higher, tighter, etc. Sway bar upgrade to front is possibility as well, but I haven't done it yet. I probably add a feature where you can order customized springs from Flattari. Otherwise, the catalog of all the possible springs would be quite a large. For the suspension, the wear states are not visual, apart from how the car sits and handles. Graphical states are always quite a lot work, so if there is other way of showing the symptoms, I try to do that. Let's say all the used parts look worn but not rusty, so they are good to use unless they are in bad shape otherwise. Moving to 5 more questions. Will it be possible for pipes to get frozen from ice, making them unusable? Yes. What is the waiting time for new parts to arrive after being ordered? Is it the same as MSC? It is a lot more varied compared to MSC. Can you get sick from being too cold for too long? For example, sneezing, coughing. No. Will there be different exhaust types for different sounds? Yes. Will there still be walking NPCs since it's cold out? Yes. Now moving to November. We got more than enough information about the game. Let's start with the first ones. Someone asked if there will be rally in the game, and he answered with, yes, both rally and ice track racing. They are ran alternating weekends. It might be little inconvenient if you focus and build the car for either discipline, as you need to wait for 2 weeks for another opportunity. But it would be too much and unrealistic for them to be ran on same weekend. Inspection will also more strict, so you probably can't run same build in both disciplines, but then again you have 2 weeks to rebuild the car. Must say that the ice racing is super fun if you actually put some thought into the car and build it actually suitable for that type of racing. I was actually surprised that real-world tricks work best. Then again, rally is a lot more difficult than in summertime. There was question about randomized issues for Rivet. It is basically empty shell when you purchase it, so any problem you are going to have is related to the condition of the parts you install to it. However, I think that random chance for bent suspension mounts could be quite fun idea, and it is easy to add. Then it was about damage states. Is the head able to be damaged? I haven't decided yet. In any case, it would probably require Fleetari repair work because unlike other parts, there can't be multiple instances of the cylinder head. Would the cam be able to be wiped out, damaged? Yes. Would we be able to seize the engine instead of it just catching on fire when it has no oil? Sure. It depends on the engine temperature and if it ignites the gasoline on the intake side. Moving to ice track questions. Will there be trophies like in the rally? Yes. Will we be able to race at night? Ice racing is only during daylight. Are the regulations different than the rally? If so, what's different? Basically, a rally car needs to be road legal, but an ice race car does not have to meet those requirements. Also, some parts need to be removed from the ice race car, like additional seating and driving lights. Can we have 4-spoke Raw-style rims? Sure, those look nice, so yes. When we register the Rivet as a historic model, will it have a different license plate? No. Are there benefits of registering the Rivet as a historic model? Not from a practical point, but maybe it could be sold for a good price, and that would be your endgame score. Will the Rivet have a VIN plate in the engine bay? Yes, then we have like 14 more questions about all the miscellaneous in the game. Will we be able to slack off at work? Yes. How do we take care of our needs during work hours? There is a toilet for needs and a fridge for food. If you are sleepy, you can have energy drinks and coffee. I'd also like to add some sort of couch where you can actually sleep. Will there be new games for the PC? I'd like to, yes, and a dedicated console for that. Although you are still using the old Micropekka, will it be more powerful? It will be the same. Have the NPCs visually aged since MSC? Teimo's hair going gray, etc. No, it has only been a few years really. Are any NPCs from MSC not featured or possibly dead? That's left to be seen. Are our parents still in Tenerife? I wish it was possible to reveal them, but most likely they will be somewhere else. Will there be a Rusco replacement? Well, Rusco will be absent, but not sure if there is a direct replacement for it. Anyway, there are plenty of new vehicles around. Is it still planned to be the 90s luxury car, or was that a hoax? There are plans for it. Will the boombox return? I will probably replace it with a portable sound system that supports CDs. Will the premium parts sold by Fleetari, oil batteries, actually improve the car or make it more durable? Yes, they are professional racing parts and not just random cheap garbage. Fleetari also sells a lot of NOS, new old stock, so that stuff is also good. Unfortunately, everything is quite expensive. Since we are at the end of the year, can you please subscribe and like the video if you liked it so fat? Thank you. Moving to December, where the best sauce was given. Someone asked a lot of questions about the game. Is it going to be possible to cook more types of food? For example, pasta with tomato sauce and meatballs or a simple salad. to regulate the character's weight better? No, this is not a cooking game. Will the windows for the vehicles get frosty enough that we'll have to scrape off the ice before driving? Yes, some of the cars have this feature, but not all. Would it be possible to hang out with different people? Most likely at the bar, like Juko or Petteri? Well, it depends on what hanging around means. This is Finland in the end. Will the main character be married to Suski? Marital status is not being disclosed in the game. Will drinking too many energy drinks, coffee, have the potential to give you a heart attack? Well, not at this point, but I guess it could be added if people want such a thing. Not sure if it is too punishing. Then again, the main character is still young, so a heart attack would not be very likely anyway. Will there be any jobs that don't require the player to get hired yet have the potential to be a sustainable source of income? Yes, and they probably pay more than the regular job. It depends on how you play. Then it was questioned about the betting on rally drivers. Yeah, I agree it would be fun, but it would also illegal in Finland. And illegal underground betting would change the outcomes of the races. It is not realistic at all, but I personally like the idea, so I do not know. At least you can bet ice hockey matches. And see some. Then questions about a thermometer. Yes, there is color indicator together with body temperature bar that tells what is the ambient temperature at given time. Other way to see it is how fast the body temperature starts to drop. Thermometers are fixed in place. There is no portable thermometer. I don't think it is a good idea to connect the coldness to stress because the cure for it is clothing instead of smoking. Then he spoke about the similarities with a real Revette. The similarities with any real car ends pretty much in technical details like engine displacement, power, and drivetrain options. Exterior and interior options are completely made up and probably has little or no relation to real car. Car in the game is more aligned with US muscle car concepts, being sort of fictional European version of such idea. Because MWC has completely reworked part system, it has allowed a lot of these kind of changes, and it is very fun to come up with various ideas and styling options. Could say I am very pleased how some of the special trims have worked out. We also have the most terrible late 70s plastic facelift. Then it was a question about the game experience. I mostly play it like I would any game, without really being in a role of a developer. Of course, when I find bugs or things that need to be changed, I take notes. But I think best way to figure how game plays out is to actually play it with neutral way. In the end, I am developing Dream Games. For my own enjoyment, the experience is harsh. It is also so rewarding when something actually works out like you planned, but still, it is struggle. You need to be very accomplished MSC player to survive with this thing at all. You need to drive carefully like you would in real life. You need to plan ahead everything. You need to know how your car is affected by the weather. You need to do everything by the book, or you go to jail or lose everything. There is no room for messing around with anything unless you know what you are risking. Racing is difficult. Darkness will make you depressed. When it is daylight, you are in sleep or at work. You have 1 hour per day to build your project car. That basically means you install a rear axle and go to bed. Unless it is too cold to be outside and you just watch TV or go to bed. Sure, you can work a lot. There are lots of options. But that's it. You miss your whole life working. The experience is like nothing before. Everything is terrible. Once you come out victorious, you will understand what matters in life. Sorry. So guys, please subscribe and like the video, and that's it. Thank you.